Alright, guys, Fairy Tale Chapter 327. Finally, we get to see the dragons come. We have been waiting since halfway through the Daimoto Enbu just for the dragons to come, and now that they're here, I am just so ready for what will happen next in the few chapters that will follow after. Okay, so picking up from last chapter at the end, Lucy said, "No, we mustn't close. We mustn't open the door. I have to close it now." And what caught everybody's attention on that last panel was that Lucy's pupils were, well, not her pupils, her eyes were completely dark. There were no pupils, no soul really. It just looked like she was possessed. Well, following up from that, we now know what is going on. Actually found out the reason, and if most of you don't remember who Crooks is I believe the silver celestial gate key that Lucy has. He can find out any and all information that has anything to do with the celestial spirit world, and it just so happens that the Eclipse gate does, because it needs the power of a celestial spirit mage to operate or something like that. I don't have the full information on that. I remember that Arcadios goes on about it, but I can't remember exactly what he said. So it seems that when they escaped, she had Crooks look into this immediately, and Crooks finds out some information on the Eclipse doors, and Lucy says that they need to close the door now because the Eclipse doors, well, she said that you can't fire the cannon, and she says that it's because there's no such thing as an Eclipse cannon. It's just a door, and it's a door that connects time. And with that, the door is connected to 400 years ago. And what is so special about that is that 400 years ago, dinosaurs were the dominant species. And what I mean by dominant species is that dragons were an everyday thing. Like, you would probably encounter like 10 to 20 dragons a day if you were just standing outside or something. That's how much dragons there were back then. And that was probably before the Great Dragon War, where Agnologia came in and he just wiped out everything. And so once Lucy reveals this information, everybody's just like, "Holy crap, is she serious?" Because right now I'm mind blown. I'm like, "Holy crap!" And so if this is the case, then that means that the eclipse is how the dragons are going to come. Oh, that. After figuring that out, I was just astounded, because that made a lot of sense. Because where else would the dragons come from? They wouldn't just randomly come up from the sky like, bloop, oh, we're here, and just destroy everything. That probably wouldn't happen. Like, I was actually having a conversation with somebody on my Facebook page, because I have a fairy tale Facebook page that I admin, and they said that they would pop out from Edelus, which is an okay theory, but I wouldn't really count on it. So after this, once this information comes out, our first dragon comes out, and it's pretty fucking epic. Because everybody's just standing there, and all he did was let out a roar. And it wasn't really an attack. All he was doing was fucking roaring. He was just like, he just let out a roar, and a shockwave just went everywhere. It was blowing everybody back. and it was pretty serious. Like buildings were getting destroyed, and here's the thing about it. All he did was the the first dragon, that is. All he did was step down, and it destroyed, like, I can't even count how many houses there were. But this is nothing to play around with. So at this point, there are more dragons coming, and how many dragons will come, we don't know. Will there be 10,000? Will there be 10 million or 10 billion? I'm just making up numbers, but we're pretty sure that if it's connected to 400 years ago, before the Great Dragon War, then you know that a lot of dragons will be coming out there, probably more than 10,000. And so now, seeing this, Lucy, she grabs the princess and she tells her, how do we stop this? And she says, you have to use the pedestal. So Lucy runs towards it, but the dragons, all they're doing is letting out roars, and they're just blowing her back completely. Wendy catches her and she says she must do something now. And Lucy, she's just struggling to try and get to levers. She says, I have to use my celestial mage powers right now. And meanwhile, the princess, she's just distraught. She's horrified. I'm pretty sure she has put the burden on herself that she is going to doom Fury, and not just Fury, but the entire freaking world itself. And so now Wendy, she asked Lucy-san, how'd you know? And she said, I didn't know what was going on. I had Crooks researching all this time, in which I said before. And she said that he just now finished analyzing the door. And so Crooks tells her that this is a device that puts together magic from the book of Zareth and celestial spirit magic. And if those of you who don't know what the book of Zareth is, it is pretty much just a book containing all kinds of magical spells and stuff from Zareth. If you want to look more into it, then you can look it up. I'll probably put a link in the description. I'll just sure I might. And so now in the next panel, Arcadios talks for like a couple of sentences, and he says that you originally input the time coordinates so that you can move time. And when he says that, I believe he means traveling throughout time. Like you set the coordinates to where you want to travel, and then that's how it happens. If so, I would wonder why there would be a machine like this. But then again, that's probably why Lahar and Doranbolt are probably going to announce this to the Magic Council, because he says this goes against our laws. So I'm pretty sure having this device is illegal. And so anyway, when Arcadio says this, he says it's special only today, and that the moon is corrupting the magic. I wanted him to go more in depth about this, but he doesn't, which is kind of disappointing, because I actually wanted to know what the hell the moon has to do with this. And so now Lucy, she's trying to close the door, but with all the dragons that are coming out of the eclipse, is getting pretty impossible to do at this moment. And so this other huge dragon comes out. He looks like a rock. He looks like he's made out of rock. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna say that, a rock dragon. And so he steps down, and Lucy is thrown. She's just thrown back, and meanwhile she's just putting up the fight to try and keep on going to the lever and closing the door. And in this state, and while running towards it, she says, I want to live my other self's share too. I want to have the share of laughter, tears, I want to live it out. And when she's saying that, she's referring to her future self. Her future self came back from the future, obviously. But I believe 2 chapters ago, Rogue killed future Lucy. So that's what she means too. And meanwhile, in the last panel, Altair and Melody, they managed to pull Natsu out of the shadows. I don't know how. From the look of it, it only seems like half of his body is out. But either way, they still manage it. Now Natsu, fully conscious, he's now going to try and make his way towards the Eclipse. I doubt he even knows what is going on right now. But either way, that's how it ends. And the final quote from both of them, they say, "We won't give up. We'll live now to the fullest. We will protect the future." And so now a couple of things about this chapter that kind of confused me. I didn't take any notes, so I'm just pulling this off of the top of my head right now. Is what about Future Rogue? What happened to him? Did he disappear? I'm pretty sure he didn't use the Eclipse to go back, because if he did, he probably would have been in the past right now. So I hope to see him come back again next chapter. I want to see more of Future Rogue. I want to get to know why he even killed Sting to gain his power. Also, his Future Rogue's credibility. Did he really come here to save the future, or did he just come back to ensure that future Lucy doesn't mess anything up and that the future will stay the way it is? Excuse me. And if so, why would he stay in a world with dragons where they will pretty much just destroy everything? It's pretty confusing. I'm pretty sure. I hope that Hero will try to clear all of this up in the next chapters. Like I said, I want to know more from Future Rogue. I want to know why he's doing the stuff he's doing. I want to know for sure whether he is evil or whether he's good, whether he's trying to doom the future or whether he's actually trying to save it. And from where things are looking up right now, I probably believe that there is a third party now, besides just Future Lucy, who's dead, and Future Rogue. I believe there's a third party in this, who I do not know, but we'll just have to see what happens in the next upcoming chapters. This concludes my review. As always, comment, subscribe, rate. I will see you guys next week.